Hey everybody, Brimstone here. And San Diego Comic-Con was over the weekend, and King of the Hill did a panel. That's right. The actors, Mike Judge and Greg Daniels, came out themselves and did a full panel on King of the Hill, and even did an episode premiere of episode 2, the beer story from that has Hank versus Bobby. This is great news, and they have some stuff that they did say. Apparently, they also had a full backyard of Hanks, and you could go on the tractor, get some Alamo beer, which were apparently filled with water, and some fun merch and stuff like that, which is great to see that the series is being brought back and met with such positive reviews by everybody I have seen. But we found an article from IGN that will cover everything that they did. But before we get into the article, hit that like, hit that sub button, dislike the video if you don't like it, share this out there, leave a comment. And thank you so much for watching. So let's get into this IGN article. All the details we learned about the new King of the Hill season at the show's Comic-Con panel. San Diego Comic-Con. This is from IGN, of course. There will be a link in the comments below to the article if you want to read it yourself. I always try to do that. And this is by Michael Payton. Good on him. And it came out July 25th, which was Friday. But I wanted to make sure that everything was revealed before all that. So here we go. The beloved creator of the series stopped by San Diego Comic-Con to show off a new episode and talk about bringing back the popular show. It's coming back August 4th. Executive showrunner, producer, and showrunner Saladin Patterson was, I have no clue what that is, joined by executive producer and co-creators Greg Daniels and Mike Judge, along with series stars Kathy Najimy, Pamela Alden, Nicole Tom, wow, can't read, and Toby Huss. The audience at the panel was able to screen an entire second episode of the 14th season titled A Beer Story. Now, if you read the summaries of the series, the beer story is all about Hank versus Bobby in a brew-off competition. And this should be really interesting to see how Hank deals with it and how Bobby does, because this is one of the first things that we are seeing where Hank and Bobby are going to clash now that Bobby's an adult. And Hank has to step out of that role of being a father full-time and become more of that friend. So it's going to be one of those very important episodes. In the episode, Hank, who is retired and desperate for hobbies, starts brewing beer at home. His kit is powered by, you guessed it, propane, and enters the beer-making competition, competing against Bobby, who's now somewhat of an expert in brewing thanks to his job as a chef in Dallas. That's right, Bobby's back as a chef in Dallas. Although the episode, we got an inside look at some of the Easter eggs showing Arlen has changed and how it has it in the 15 years since the show went off air. Wow, it's really been 15 years. That's crazy. Okay, so let's get into these. Show within a show, Monsignor Martinez still is on the air, although now features his son of the original titular character avenging his father's death. So it's Monsignor Martinez Jr. That's really cool. Peggy's Spanish is still subpar, to say the least, evidenced by her failing attempt to translate Monsignor Martinez's dialogue. That doesn't surprise me. Bobby's restaurant, called Robata Chain, is located in Dallas and seems to be financed by Bobby's childhood frenemy, Chain Wasanasong, and her father, Ted. After Hank and Bobby decide to enter the beer brewing competition, Hank and Peggy visit a local brewery to understand the appeal of newer fruity beers. Unsurprisingly, Hank is disgruntled with anything other than Alamo. Good on him. In a subtle tribute to Tom Petty, who voiced the character Lucky from the original show's run, Rip Lucky. It's not going to be the same without him. The song Running Down a Dream is featured in the beer-making montage. That's fantastic. Joseph is still Bobby's best friend. He's seen driving his biological father, John Redcorn's Jeep from the original series, and also smokes cigarettes with his real father, Dale. So apparently that hasn't been revealed yet, that Joseph is actually John Redcorn's kid. Nancy and John Redcorn show up to the competition and are seemingly together. Dale, of course, is still as ignorant as ever at their relationship. I really don't like this. And I hope that they remedy it or fix it or put it back to normal, because I really don't like this. One of the big arcs of the series was Nancy giving up on John Redcorn, especially the episode where she loses her hair and Dale, and she decides to be with Dale because she loves Dale, and Dale does nothing but love Nancy. I really like the episode where Nancy called Nancy Does Dallas, where Nancy completely went off the rails and Dale just kept being Dale. So it wasn't Dale that drove Nancy crazy. It's actually Dale's craziness that kept Nancy sane, that kept her on track because she doesn't have the energy for anything else. So yeah, that I really don't like this, but they'll see where they're taking over this series. The show's theme song by The Refreshment still plays over the end credits, although it's an updated version. And the series' famous tagline, where the funny line from the episode spoken over and over, the studio logo, is still there. This screened episode features a line where Dale insults Bobby. Okay, so there's Bobby in his restaurant, Robota Chain. After the episode is screened, the cast and producers came on stage to talk about reviving the show and conserving featured news, conversation featured news, and fans can expect once for season 14 drops. Pamela Alden, Bobby Hill, says Bobby didn't go to college and is struggling to work in the restaurant industry while his friends took different paths. Still, Alden says Bobby is her forever favorite character as she ever played, and that when she sees pictures of Bobby, she thinks she's looking at a picture of herself. Okay. She already learned from the news season synopsis that Hank and Peggy moved out to Saudi Arabia, where they lived for 10 years. Judge says they were able to survive there because they lived in a fabricated America town built for the employees of Hank's employer. That's good, because if Peggy tried to be Peggy in Saudi Arabia, there wouldn't be a Peggy anymore. Judge also said that Hank, who was always a bit of a stick in the mud, didn't mind that women were tended to be more covered up. That's fantastic. Lauren Tom, who voices Bobby's on-again, off-again girlfriend Connie, says that Connie started off the series as shy, but is now much more confident now that she's older. Tom also said that when we see Connie in the revival, she's practicing ethical non-monogamy. So she's sleeping around, which I'm really not a fan of. I was always hoping her and Bobby would figure something out as they got older. But, you know, you've got to have entertainment and stuff like that. So we'll see. There's a picture of Hank and Dale, Dale's latest conspiracy theory. There is a whole episode about Hank freaking covering the there's a whole soccer thing. He coaches soccer, or not coaches, refs. And yeah, that's pretty funny. Toby Huss, who voiced many characters in the original series, took over Hank's conspiracy-addled neighbor Dale Gribble from the late Johnny Hardwick. I'm not going to improve on what Johnny did, Huss said, but I hope it improves. He approves of it. The crew also confirmed that at some point during the show's hiatus, Dale actually became mayor of Arlen, which Huss said was wacky and appropriate. King of the Hill season 14. Premieres on Hulu August 4th. Dale is mayor of Arlen, but that's just absolutely insane. That is so good to hear. I'm not a big fan of this Nancy and John Redcorn possibly being back together. We don't know for sure. They just could be close friends and stuff like that. Maybe finding a way to prep to tell Joseph and Dale about everything that happened. I don't know. But I seriously hope they are not back together. It kind of undoes and cheapens everything that happened beforehand. So we'll see. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you looking forward to the new season? Are you not? Leave a comment, hit the like, hit the sub button, share this out there, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.